Okay, we're on Haggai chapter 2, reading from verse 10. On the 24th day of the 9th month in the 2nd year of Darius, the word of the Lord came to Haggai the prophet. Thus says the Lord of hosts, ask the priests about the law. If someone carries holy meat in the field of his garment, and touches with his fold bread or stew or wine or oil or any kind of food, does it become holy? The priests answered and said, No. Then Haggai said, if someone who is unclean by contact with a dead body touches any of these, does it become unclean? The priest answered and said, it does become unclean. And so if we just look at this principle, that something that is unholy or ceremonially unclean, when it touches something else, that thing becomes unclean. So they couldn't touch menstrual garments, they couldn't touch dead bodies, and so when you touched a dead body, you became unclean. You didn't make that body clean. And so in the same way, sanctified food or holy food, like a holy meat, if it touches something that's unclean, that meat doesn't suddenly become clean. And so by the same implication, when a virus goes throughout the world, the virus spreads from person to person, making each person unclean, but someone who doesn't have the virus can't now transfer his holiness or his health back onto the person who has become infected by the virus. And so when sin entered the world through Adam, sin spread through the whole of every part of mankind. So we are actually born sinners. We are born with that virus of sin. And so which by nature, whatever we touch becomes unclean. And so what happens here is they were offering sacrifices, they were doing the right things, they were probably even selecting the right lambs that were unblemished, a year old, and doing all the right things in regard to how the sacrifice should take place. But that didn't make the work of the Lord blessed, because their hands were unclean, and so that transferred onto the work, and so it actually defiled the work, and so there was no blessing of that work. And so today we can still go through those motions. We can go to church, we can get baptized, we can do the right things, we can tithe, and we can just fulfill all the duties, but at home we're living in sin, and so in that sense we're defiling the work that God has put before us. And so it's very important that our hearts are right, our lives are right, and that we examine, because even he goes on to say, consider, just like we went when we started this series. Haggai said, consider your ways. And so even this morning, consider your ways with where's your heart with the things of the Lord, because you can't make right or make things good by doing a whole lot of good deeds. Good deeds doesn't make you righteous. It's only by believing in Jesus Christ and being clothed in his righteousness and bowing your knee to him and confessing your sin to him. He is the one that ultimately makes you clean. God bless.